Hi. At this point, we're just going to do a brief tour of the R Studio Integrated Development Environment, IDE. So once you've installed it and you open it up, this is what you're going to see. Basically, this breaks down into three parts here, but it's really, once you start doing stuff, there'll be four parts to this environment. Over here is the console environment, and this has kind of a little note that you're using this, this version of R, and usually whatever version of R you're using, there's a cute little name that they attach to it. This is the Action of the Toes version. It's free. There's no warranty. It's collaborative. We can type demo and see some demos. And over here is kind of the global environment where any variables you make will be defined. And over here is there's a variety of things in the bottom right window by default. So this is kind of the file explorer, and this starts in the current current location on your computer where R is sitting. As you do plots, they'll appear in this tab. If you want to see what packages are installed with your R installation, the packages tab will show everything that you have. And as we install new packages, they'll show up here. It also shows if those packages are currently imported into this environment or not. So you'll see there's like the matrix package, for instance, is installed, but we don't have it in our environment. So the way it works is the console itself will let you do things like print. You do a simple print command, print hello world, and it'll print out right there. And that's all that's going to do. As soon as you start doing stuff and making files, you'll see a fourth window. So if I go up here and I say add R script, you'll see that there's a scripting window now up here in the top right, and this kind of feeds into the console, the plots, and all the other windows. So if I create a variable, let's say I say x equals 10. Okay, that doesn't do anything when you hit enter because the script file is not an auto run line by line thing. It's meant to run a bunch of code all at once. You can run a single line by simply putting your cursor in front of the line you want to run, and if you hit control enter, it will run that line. So see, I just ran that and I got a value of 10 for x in my global environment. So I've created a new variable, and I've assigned it a value. I could have done the same thing here in the console, and it would have had the same impact. I could say y equals 5, right? And there it is. There's my new y value. In fact, you probably noticed that every time I run something in the script and I run a line, it'll show up here in the console. So the script is sending things to the console, which is running things and then putting them in one of these panes over here if applicable. If I do a plot, there'll be a plot appearing in the plot tab. Or if I change the install status of a package, it'll show up in here. If I said, let's say library, let's say I bring in the splines package. Oops, sorry. And I run that line. Then the splines package over here will suddenly light up and have a check mark next to it. So it's now active in the environment. That's kind of a brief introduction to what's going on in R. Usually you have something in the top left that you're working on. You can run it line by line, or you can run it all at once. And that whenever you do it, it'll send the commands that you put into the console, which will send them to the environment, which will send them to the plots history, kind of the bottom right set of tabs here, which are output specific. In addition, we're going to go and kind of change the environment a little. So the way to do that is to go to Tools, Global Options, and you want to go to Appearance, and you want to change the way that the environment looks. So here I'm going to kind of set it to my own personal preferences. I'm going to increase the font size in the editor to 16 because I'm old, and I want to change the theme from the current version, the TextMate theme, which is default. You can pick any other theme that you like, and you see it will kind of show you what everything's going to look like under this theme or that theme. I kind of like the dark theme, so I'm going to go with kind of the pastel on dark theme. And if I hit apply, you'll have to restart the studio to do it. But once you do, it'll give you a new version of it with everything all kind of colored the way that you want and everything looking good from your perspective. So that's kind of a brief overview of the R Studio environment and what's going on with it. So I want to thank you for listening to that and hope it helps. Thanks.